The purpose of this video is to walk through how you can think about tracking not only talent within your network and some of the candidates that can be relevant for key portfolio companies, but also driving that actual candidate pipeline forward and what that can look like directly within Affinity. So to start with, I'm going to come into this talent network list here. Now, this people list represents all of the candidates or talent that we have within our network and universe of people. On the left-hand side is each of the individual contacts, and then we have a bunch of data enrichment associated with these contacts, like current job title or current organization, what's their education or LinkedIn URL. And then we've got some proprietary information that we're actually going to be tracking associated with these relationships. How do we rank that candidate relative to some of the other ones that we have within our network? What job functions are they interested in or would be a good fit for? If I come under customize, I can see some of those additional fields that we might be tracking, and I can really easily scroll to the right and start to see some of that information around what companies they might be interested in, what stages from an investment round perspective do they sort of specialize in or want to be a part of, any sectors that they really care about, compensation expectations, etc. All of this data is going to be accessible here really easily, and you can double click in as you're having conversations with these talent people across your network, and we can really easily start to fill in some of this data as we're having some of those meetings with them. Now, if I sort of scroll back to the left here, I can come in here and I can easily filter off of this information as well. If I wanted to look at all of our great candidates as an example, I can come in here, apply some of those filters, and get a really nice subset of this entire talent network that we have. And then I can toggle between these different saved views that focus on some of those key talents. So here, looking at some of our great product talent here as an example, we can see the 7 individuals that fit that criteria. Now, when we actually shift this over to the evaluation side and we're interviewing some of these candidates to place them in roles in our portfolio companies, we can come back to the homepage and we can see that candidate pipeline that we're tracking. So here's 73 people that we're actually interviewing, or our portfolio companies are interviewing for potential roles. And we can have, again, all that enrichment that we're tracking associated with those contacts, plus some of that proprietary information around, what's their interview status, what role are they being considered for, what portfolio company are we actually interviewing for, and then some of that detail around compensation and who's actually driving that process forward. Now, in a very similar fashion, we can come in here and we can filter this down based on something like that portfolio company field, and I can see who are all of the people that we're interviewing for different roles for Anthropic, who is a portfolio company of ours. I can see we've got a few different roles here, but I wanted to really focus on the CRO position, and I can see within here we've got a couple people in that first round, got one person in the second round, and we have one person in that reference and offer stage. I can really easily come in here and I can filter and apply that view, and I can say this is Anthropic's CRO pipeline, and it's going to pop up that new tab here, very similar to how we thought about the talent network as a whole. It's really easy for us to come in and sort of digest some of this information. Now, when we actually go into specific contacts, if I come back here and we go into somebody like Cole here as an example, I can see the entire history of our relationship with Cole as well. So I can see the fact that he was on our talent network and then eventually became a candidate for one of our portfolio companies. I can see the history of the meetings we're having with Cole, any of the emails that we've exchanged, and then across these different tabs here, I can see, of course, who on my team actually has a relationship with Cole, some of the notes that we've taken either automatically through our AI note taker or some of the manual notes we might have uploaded. All of that data is going to be accessible directly within this profile page here. Now, the last piece of this is really focused on the reporting side. So all of this data that we're capturing, we can pull that into our dashboard functionality. And here we can look at sort of a snapshot of what's going on within our candidate pipeline. I can see all of those specific individuals, what's some of their previous experience, what's the status of them, where are they actually interviewing for specific roles. And then I can get these really nice breakdowns based on the types of roles we're hiring for, compensation expectations, the breakdown based on specific portfolio companies, etc., across this reporting functionality. So we can really manage that talent across the entire life cycle of how we're managing those relationships, applying them to our portfolio companies, and then reporting on some of the impact we're having. Hopefully this is helpful to give a sense of how you can think about tracking some of that talent and candidate pipeline directly within the platform.